Hello, Ramley and other NFL family. Payout time here with the Rams Radar. And in this video, we're talking about the Rams playoff update. I use playoffstatus.com. Again, this is purely mathematical, based on strength of schedule, based on the actual results that we have. It's been a couple weeks since I've done one of these, so I figured after the sad loss to the Panthers on Sunday, and the Rams looking to rebound against the Arizona Cardinals this week, this would be a good time to update where the Rams are at. Now, as we all know, the Bears take over the number one seed over the Rams for the time being. But as you can see, and let me just zoom in a little bit here, you can see the Rams still actually have the highest percentage chance of getting the number one seed at 37%. And again, that's based on opponents and things that are happening. So the Bears, if they win out, they control their own destiny. If the Bears win every game the rest of the season, they will have the number one seed. That being said, if the Rams win out and the Bears drop one game or tie a game or something like that, the Rams take over that number one seed. So that's something of note for sure. The other interesting point I'll make here is you can see, for anyone out there, I just want to ease the nerves for the Ramley that's like, the Rams are going to miss the playoffs. They currently have a 3% chance of missing the playoffs altogether. All right. So they have 37% chance of the one seed, 18% of the two seed, 5% of the three seed, less than 1% of the four seed, just based on, I'm going to guess that's the NFC South winner. Then they got the 24% chance at the 5, 6, or 7 seed. And that's if the Seahawks are able to, have finished with a better record than the Rams. So that is interesting of note here. The NFC playoff picture is definitely taking place. As you can see, teams like the Lions, they're in trouble. They have a 74% chance currently right now of missing the playoffs altogether. If you look at it, it's shaping up to be the Bears, Rams, Eagles, Buccaneers, Seahawks, 49ers, and Packers. Sure, there's a chance that one of these teams gets in trouble. They drop, have a historic collapse. The Buccaneers, they definitely have the Panthers breathing down their necks, possibly going on a run here. So that's something to note for. Would the Rams have an opportunity to have a bit of a revenge game against the Panthers in the playoffs? I'd be okay with that. But something that's of note for sure. But it's looking like these are the teams that are separating themselves from the rest of the pack and in the NFC. So, are the Cowboys going to be in play here? Maybe. But Cowboys, Panthers, Lions, they're in, the hot seat for sure. And then all the rest of the NFC has not much of a chance, as you can tell, at making the playoffs. But that's okay, because we're focusing mainly on the Rams here. I just wanted to kind of note that. So the Rams still do have a good shot at the number one seed. Obviously, they need the Bears to win a game. If we look at the Bears' upcoming schedule, they have the Packers, the Browns, the Packers again, and then the 49ers. That could be, I could see them splitting with the Packers, right? Or who knows? Who knows? The Browns, they're a tough out sometimes. Who knows? Then, so that's something of note for sure. Hopefully the Bears can lose at least one of those games against the Packers, and who knows, maybe even the 49ers. If you look at the Rams next 4 games, I should say, they play the Cardinals, the Lions, the Seahawks, and that's on a short week, and then the Falcons. Hopefully the Rams can go 4-0 in that stretch and reclaim the top seed and win out and claim it, right? Get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So that's just kind of interesting things of note. We're going to talk to Rams' most important games in this upcoming week here. So let me just click on this, go over here. So Rams versus Cardinals, obviously that is the most important game for the Rams. They got to win it. If they win it, their chance of getting the number one seed goes up from 37% to 40%. But if they lose it and they drop this game to the Cardinals, it goes down to 11%. Now, the Rams still have a good chance of, making the playoffs and getting a wild card. but that definitely would help the Seahawks a lot if the Rams were to drop that game because it's a division loss, being that the Cardinals are in the NFC West. So all this to say, you got to beat the Cardinals this week, and it would definitely be really, really discouraging if they drop 2 games in a row at this point in the season. If now there's other games that will impact the Rams playoff seeding going into this. The number one being the Packers and the Bears. If the Packers win, then the Rams chance to get the number one seed goes up to 42%. If the Bears win, then it goes down to 31. Now, this is not fully combining each possible outcome, but just hang with me, and that's the percentage points that impacts the Rams seeding. Now, Falcons and Seahawks is another huge important game, and I'm not talking about the Rams draft pick that used to be the Falcons. That's a whole nother video, I'm sure. But if the Falcons were to upset and beat the Seahawks, that would definitely benefit the Rams. And if the Seahawks win, which it looks pretty likely, then again, the Rams got the Falcons first round draft pick. But just a game to watch next week. Chargers and Eagles, another game that impacts. Hopefully the LA Chargers can help out their LA, brethren in the Rams and take on the Eagles. Right, Eagles holding that tiebreaker over the Rams from that loss earlier in the year is significant. If the Rams and Eagles finish, with the same record, that could impact seeding, things like that. So that's of note. Cowboys and Lions, that's a huge game for the NFC playoff picture, as I talked about before. Both of them are on the outside looking in, and because they're NFC opponents, that's something to note. The Rams also play the Lions a couple weeks from now, so that's, do you want the Lions? The Lions could essentially be playing for their playoff hopes and dreams if they lose that game to the Cowboys. So that's actually a massive game. Saints and Buccaneers, again, kind of common components for the Rams. Definitely impact strength of schedule, strength of victory, things like that. NFC opponents. So it has a slight impact, as you can tell. Commanders and Vikings, and then Patriots and Giants, or that's tonight, I guess. Doesn't really impact them, but there's a slight thing here that if the Vikings were to win, it essentially affects a little percentage point there, but not overly concerned about those games. But those are some of the games to watch out for this coming week, in week 14 of the NFL season. Let's take a look here at Rams clinching options. So coming up, there are no clinching for first round bye, but if we look here, yeah, okay, we're not into clinching scenarios yet. I thought they could maybe clinch a wild card at least with a win on Sunday, but we're not there yet. So the Rams got to win a couple more games. I would love to just watch the next Rams game with you. I'll be hosting a watch party, Rams versus Cardinals on Sunday. Would love to see you there. And I thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Feel free to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, go Rams, horns up, and peace out. Let's go Rams. Woo!